So wait. Hold on 1 second. So you mean to tell me that you switched from an iPhone to an Android device?
That tech, yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you heard that right. I switched from the iPhone 14 Pro Max specifically to the OnePlus Open. Now, you might be wondering, why switch from that ecosystem to Android? Why? Now, there are a few reasons. Now, first of all, I must highlight this is OnePlus's first foldable device. Their parent device Oppo has created other foldables which OnePlus would have benefited from. However, this is OnePlus's first foldable, and let me just say it's a smash hit right out the gate. To talk about this as a phone, I think one of the most important things to highlight is the price. Right? If you're going to be buying one of these, you want to know what is it that you're going to be paying. And if you're buying this in the US, you're paying maximum $1,500. If you're buying it in Canada, you're paying maximum $2,000. Now, all of this is before tax, of course, and you'd be able to also benefit from trade-ins and various discounts that you can get. So I paid significantly less for it only because I was able to maximize again on other items that I could have benefited from. One of the things we overlook is how important a phone being a phone actually is, like the basic stuff. What's it like taking a call, making a call, using data, all that stuff. And I will say that just the phone as a phone, it performs well, and it stands out to me particularly because, again, coming from the iPhone 14 Pro Max, there's something that I noticed almost immediately. One day I was taking the train and I realized that, hey, wait a second here, I'm getting signal. Why is that the case? Now, obviously, with my last phone, I wasn't getting reception there. That's why it stood out to me. So when I noticed that immediately was an amazing thing. And then after that, I realized that different places where other phones would have no signal or little reception, I would have full bars. And I'm saying OnePlus is doing something really amazing with the antennas here. And so, great job here from an antenna perspective. Now for the battery life, the battery on this device, it performs really well. It can get you through a whole day, no problem. But there's some instances where if you're using the device heavily throughout that day, you will find that the battery drains a little bit more quickly. However, again, it can take you through no problem. And another thing is this device does not have any wireless charging. So let's get that out of the way, which is the reason why I went for the Voyager Black with the vegan leather. It feels lighter, all that fun stuff. It feels good. But that being said, the phone charges really quickly with the OnePlus charger that comes with it. It charges really quickly. So if I am, let's say, down 20% and I need to go somewhere, I go in the bathroom, I get ready, 15-20 minutes, and the phone is probably back up 70% by then. So, in terms of battery life, that's one of the things that I have enjoyed a lot with this device. It really comes in handy when I need to go somewhere, and charging works well, and I can be sure that my phone will be working by the end of the day. So that's something that's super cool. Now, another thing that I will talk about is how the phone feels. This year, you have 3 devices that are foldables that, well, at least those are the general options right now. You have the Google Pixel Fold, you have the Samsung Fold 5, Galaxy Fold 5, and then you have the OnePlus Open. Now, these were the 3 options that I had, and I went with this. Why? Because this feels the most familiar. It feels like any other smartphone that you would have, and I think that's important. So I remember testing the Galaxy Fold 5, and it felt very narrow, and because of that, the cover display, the icons are a little bit more squished together, and it doesn't feel as natural. However, this does. It feels like any other phone, and that for me is one of the most I guess comforting things, to know that, hey, I'm not picking up a phone and it feels a little bit narrow just to get a folding phone. So OnePlus did a really good job where that's concerned. Now, I will also highlight that the phone does not necessarily feel comfortable in one hand, specifically the left hand, and this is because where the hinge of the phone is, it digs right into your palm a little bit, right? So if you're holding the phone like this, it's resting right in there, and because it has those sharp edges, it feels a little bit uncomfortable. However, outside of that, the moment the phone is opened, now this is a different vibe. It feels very comfortable using it in two hands. The phone is quite thin and it's light. It weighs about the same as a 14 Pro Max. This specific version, the glass version, is a little bit more heavy, but it really feels good. Now, as we're talking about screens and feel and fit, multitasking. How does the OnePlus Open handle multitasking? And I would just say OnePlus's implementation of multitasking in this device is amazing. It's really good. Now, from a cover screen perspective, you can multitask like any other Android phone. You can use split screen apps and all that. But the real magic happens when you open the device. Upon opening the device, you can use up to 4 apps at once. You can use 2 side by side, you can have 3 side by side as well, or you can have 2 to the side, 1 underneath, or you can have all 3 side by side and a floating window, which equates to 4. And having 4 items on your screen at once, I mean, that is the definition of what multitasking should look like. Now, one of the things I didn't like with Apple was how they implemented multitasking on their iPhones. I feel like it barely existed. And so having this option to have multiple screens and how they did it, the gestures that you use to enable your multitasking, all of that really does help with the user experience, and the phone feels just fantastic when you're doing everything like that. That being said, there's one thing I did notice, specifically with Facebook. If you have a video that's playing and you're playing it on the cover display, but you open up the display, I find that the video moves away, so it jumps to something else. Now, it's different if you actually select into the video, but if you're scrolling on the timeline and there's a video just in that timeline being played, you open it up, the video moves away. Not sure if it's because of the orientation of the device once it's opened up. I'm not sure why it is, but every other app I've used, Instagram, YouTube, that doesn't exist. So I've noticed it specifically with Facebook. So that's just something to note. Now, something to highlight, the cameras on the OnePlus Open. This phone has 5 cameras. It has 3 on the back, 1 on the cover, and 1 on the main display. Well, 1 in the main display right to the top right of the device. The cameras on this phone, again, have to compare it to the last phone I was using, the 14 Pro Max, and I guess iPhones in general. Videos. iPhone is the king of mobile video, hands down. However, this phone's video is quite good. It records excellently in the day. It does good video at nighttime. The video experience is very good. It's not something that you'll use and be like, I probably should not use my phone. It's one of those things where you will want to constantly use it. So I love the cameras on this phone. It does really well for video. The audio is good, the colors are good, the sharpness is balanced. It's a good experience. That being said, the photos on this phone are amazing. And here's why I say this. The tuning between OnePlus and Hasselblad, the color science, whatever they're doing behind the scenes, it results in an amazing picture. Every picture that you take, it just feels so immersive and rich. And it doesn't seem like it's super contrasty or super saturated or anything like that. It's just a well-balanced photo that just reminds you of where you were. It feels very natural, but it also has some level of, it has this character to it that I can't put into words. But what I can say, it's an amazing experience. However, the downside to the photos, of course, is that this phone does not do very well at fast-moving subjects. So if you're trying to catch something that's moving quickly, it does not do a good job at that. So hopefully this is something that OnePlus can fix with a software update, but that's just something to note. Another thing that I must mention is protection. Now, this device is, I do not use my phones like this. You have heard the cost of this phone. I am not spending that money and not protecting it. Now, OnePlus was kind enough to send their OnePlus protective set, as they've called it, and what this really is just a case and a tempered glass screen protector. which is really good because I found that it's really difficult to find screen protectors specifically for this device. Now the case, I've just installed it here. It comes with a kickstand. It still has the same vegan leather at the back of it, has a cutout for the camera. I've gone ahead to put a tempered glass on the lens as well, just to keep that protected. And the screen also is fully covered by the tempered glass. Now, the only downside to the tempered glass I will highlight though is that it disallows you from using the frame that came with the phone, so you can't really protect the edges. I still kind of force it onto it, so it works with me, but then it kind of introduces bubbles as well. So that's something to note. Now, you may be wondering, so are you saying I should get the phone? If you have the budget for it, absolutely 100% get this phone. If it is that you are someone who does a lot of water sports or anything regarding water, I would say avoid this at all costs, only because it's IPX4 rated, which means that it is not able to be submerged in water. I don't think it will survive. I would want to test it to find out. But for light splashes, a little bit of rain, stuff like that, you should be good to go. So for those cases, it should be covered. Outside of that, just as a phone, the multitasking, the screen, the displays, the brightness, the cameras, the experience of this phone is unlike any other I've used before. This is the best foldable phone you can get today, and I think you'd be happy with this device. So OnePlus is in no way sponsoring this video, but from a user perspective, spending my own money, I will say that I am happy to use this phone, and you may be too. So if you have any questions, you want to know more about the device, anything that you want me to respond to, let me know. Leave it down in the comments. Thank you for checking out this video. Remember to like, share, subscribe, the whole works, and I'll catch you on the next one. Here we go.